In this video I'll be showing you how you can use Geo-Pro to measure and draw bearings. Now, since most protractors, and this includes Geo-Pros, start at 0 degrees at the easterly position and go anti-clockwise, but bearings should start at north and go clockwise, we need a way around this, and we do that by flipping Geo-Pro over. But before I do, you can see that there's a back to front end here on Geo-Pro. That indicates north when we've flipped the protractor over. So if I turn Geo-Pro over, now the end looks correct to describe north, and we can move the centre of the protractor to the dot. If I want to measure this bearing here of the point P, and now I can follow the arrow from north clockwise, you can see I come round to a bearing of 115 degrees. You'll have to look at the numbers that are written backwards from this perspective, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. You can see that that's 115 degrees easily enough. So this bearing, clockwise from north, is 115 degrees. Now let's look at a bearings problem that involves two people on different bearings from a certain origin. Person A, 60 kilometres on a bearing of 40 degrees, and person B, 70 kilometres from an origin on a bearing of 140 degrees. How far apart are A and B? Well, again with Geo-Pro in flipped mode, I'll line up the north with the bearings line and the centre of the protractor on the dot, and I'll mark those two bearings of 40 degrees here. So you can see there's the bearing of 40 degrees marked with a small dot, and then come round and mark the other bearing of 140 degrees, which is there. Now the first dot was a distance of 60 kilometres. I'm going to flip Geo-Pro over so I can read the ruler scale more accurately, and I'm going to measure a distance along that direction through the dot of 60 millimetres. In other words, each millimetre is representing a kilometre. Down here, this distance through this direction or this bearing, I'm going to measure 70 kilometres or 70 millimetres, representing 70 kilometres. So that's the position of A and B marked. Now the distance between them I can just measure using my scale. I can rule it in if you like, and you can see if I rule it in, and while the edge is there, looks like it's about 100, so that distance would be 100 kilometres using my scale. So there's one way we can use Geo-Pro to solve bearings problems.